Breaking news, 15 people are dead and several others are injured after what investigators are calling a terror attack in New Orleans. And that's not all. A Cybertruck explosion outside the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas is also being investigated as a possible terror attack on New Year's Day. Good evening, I'm Chris Thomas. We do have a lot to cover tonight, and we start with the tragedy on Bourbon Street in New Orleans. Some of the victims have now been identified after a man drove his truck into a crowd of people. They range in age from 18 to 37 years old. Take a closer look. We now have pictures of at least 5 of the victims. And keep in mind, we'll learn more about all 15 victims in the coming days. Meanwhile, the FBI says this is the 42-year-old suspect from Texas. He was killed in a gun battle with police, and 2 officers are now in the hospital. Tonight, we have the very latest on the investigation from New Orleans. Take a look.
Tonight, one of America's most vibrant streets is shut down. Instead of festivities, police vehicles and crime tape marked Bourbon Street in New Orleans, where a driver, believed to be 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, rammed a pickup truck into a New Year's Day crowd just after 3 a.m. Dozens are injured, and among the dead, 27-year-old Nicole Perez. Her friend tells ABC News Nicole leaves behind a 4-year-old son. Federal officials say Din Jabbar is a U.S.-born citizen from Texas and an Army veteran who worked at the accounting and consulting firm Deloitte.
The FBI also reported to me that mere hours before the attack, he posted videos on social media indicating that he was inspired by ISIS, expressing a desire to kill.
The driver drove 3 blocks before crashing, then got out and fired at police with an assault rifle, according to officials. They add 2 officers were hurt before police shot and killed the suspect. Witnesses described the scene as gruesome.
What we saw was insanity. I mean, something out of a movie. The graphic nature of it, and it was unbelievable.
Investigators say they found an ISIS flag, weapons, and improvised explosive devices inside the truck. They're now working to determine whether he had any affiliations with terrorist organizations.
We do not believe that Jabbar was solely responsible. We are aggressively running down every lead, including those of his known associates.
Officials also questioned about whether barricades were up along Bourbon Street. Tonight's Sugar Bowl game between Notre Dame and Georgia will now be played tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, New Orleans.
Meanwhile, Governor Gavin Newsom also released a statement today calling for everyone to stay alert. He said, quote, while there are currently no credible threats directed at California events, Cal OES urges all Californians to remain vigilant while attending public events.